Mayoral Memo with Matho from Dubbo Regional Council.
.5 Triple M. I'm joined by the Mayor Matthew Dickerson. Matthew, how are you this morning?
Very good, thank you. Always good to be chatting to you on Triple M.
Yes, it's always good fun. Now, tell us, you had a bit of a sleep out the other night at the jail. How did that go?
Well, it was a bit freaky. The whole idea of this was the Vinnie's community sleep out. Trying to expose information about homelessness, it's not really the same because I had a nice warm meal before I went there and I was nice and rugged up, and in the morning I could go home and have a shower in my nice warm house. But it was just trying to expose a little bit about the homelessness problem across the nation. Vinnie's talk about 122,000 homeless people across the nation, so that's a big number. And it was also to raise a bit of money. But of all the places to do it, and obviously it was done at different places across the nation, the old Dubbo jail was chosen, and that's a bit freaky for a start. You've got 8 people that were hung on the gallows there in the old days of the jail when capital punishment was a thing. 3 of those people are buried there on the grounds of the jail, and we could sleep anywhere. And I chose the solitary confinement cell. Now, anyone that's been in that cell during the middle of the day knows it's a bit crazy because you walk in there, bright sunlight, you walk inside, and you can't see your hand in front of your face. All sound is drowned out, and you can imagine people being put in there as punishment for, say, 24 hours. That would really, you'd come out a bit crazy after that, I think. So I thought I'd sleep in there, and it was a bit freaky. It was just absolutely pitch black. Normally, if you wake up in the middle of the night, you can see a bit of moonlight or just a bit of light somewhere. But when you woke up in the middle of the night in there, it was completely black and pretty well soundproof as well. So it was a bit freaky, but a good cause. 15 people did it. Councillor Matt Wright did it with me as well. CEO Murray Wood did it as well. So I think a really good atmosphere and a good fundraiser as well.
You know, it's a great fundraiser. So very well done to everyone that participated in that, because that old jail is 100% definitely haunted. Now, Australia, the council's made a decision for next year.
We have made a decision for next year. We had a few options available to us. They changed the Citizenship Ceremonies Code. So we could have had the ceremony, and I'm not talking about changing the date of Australia Day, that's the 26th of January. But the ceremony could be held up to 3 days before the 26th or up to 3 days after. We did actually make a change for Australia Day 2023, and we were a bit limited by the Citizenship Ceremonies Code this year, but next year we've got more flexibility. So with all that extra flexibility, we did exactly the same thing as we did in 2023. So we're going to have the Wellington ceremony as a twilight event at 6:30pm in Wellington on the 25th of January, and Australia Day in Dubbo will be held as a morning event on Australia Day itself on the 26th of January. So that's what we did in 2023. It seemed quite successful, and even though we had a bit more flexibility, councils were pretty happy with how it all went this year, so we thought we'd try it again the same next year.
Done and dusted, by the sound of it. That's very good. Now, because I'm an old man and I go around town, I see empty lots of land. I always wondering what's getting built there. There's expressions of interest for some vacant land that council has.
We've got a block of land on Talbot Street, and I'm glad you drive around and notice old blocks of land. Well done.
Thanks.
And that was bought a few years ago, and I'm not actually sure why it was bought. And this is the land between the train station and Aldi supermarket opposite the swimming pool. So you've got that bit of land there on Talbot Street. Again, purchased by council. I haven't been able to find a strategic reason or any business papers that say we're going to buy it for these good strategic reasons. So council's looking at that saying, well, we've got this land. Do we really need it? What have we got it for? Some people have said it'd be good to have some car parking for the swimming pool there, but gee, that's an expensive car park. They paid a few $1 million for it. So I don't know that's the best use of council money, of public money. So we're going to go out to an expression of interest process where we'll advertise that and we'll say we're happy to take offers for someone to buy that land, or someone might want to lease that land and then obviously they could build something on that land or do something with that in some form of lease, probably a long-term lease because you don't like building things on things that are got a short-term lease associated with it, but really open for whatever people would like to do with that, subject to various conditions in terms of zoning, etc., all those sort of normal conditions. But it's really one of those things that let's take advantage of a bit of land. We don't want to see it as a vacant block of land. And council's got no specific purpose for it. We're not about to build something on there. The other one we're going to do something with is 69 Church Street, which is opposite the council building. And you remember that we've moved where the council chamber is now from upstairs in the council building to downstairs. Part of the logic there was to free up the upstairs area for our staff, and the staff that are currently at 69 Church Street are moving across to the main council building. So we've got a free building there, and so we're going to lease that. We've got an expression of interest out, or will have an expression of interest out for someone to put an offer in to lease that particular building there. And it's been good office space for council in the past, so I'm sure for someone it would be good office space in the future.
Yeah, no, it seems like things are moving, which is always good, always progressing forward, and that's the great thing about council. They seem to be doing that. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor, for joining us today. You have a wonderful time, and we'll catch up in a couple of weeks.
Thanks, Matho. Always my pleasure.
Mayoral Memo with Matthew Dickinson from Dubbo Regional Council.